Hey, high school football is heading your way at 7 p.m. Along with Jason Eaton, I'm John Mowinkle coming to you from the Jesup football field. 1A District 4 action continues tonight, and we're in the third to last week of the regular season. AP has a chance to clinch a playoff spot with a win and a little bit of help from elsewhere in the district tonight. But Jason, always an exciting time of year when the playoff races start to heat up. A lot is on the line. Even though it's just week 6, there's some things that are going to be decided. What an awesome time of year this is right now.
Yeah, really fun time of the year for high school football. I mean, especially in this class, you know, AP tonight looking for that coveted number or second district win. That would certainly help them paint a little clearer picture for them postseason. But still, got to win tonight and have some other things happen.
So Aplington-Parkersburg coming off of its first district win, a 48-7 triumph over Sumner-Fredericksburg last week, where several different ball carriers got involved in what ended up being a really crisp performance. And as long as things go well early in this one, it's reasonable to think that AP will continue to hang its hat in the run game, as has been the case all throughout the season. The scenario for AP to clinch a playoff spot tonight would be to win and have a Union win over Hudson and a Columbus Catholic win over Sumner-Fredericksburg. So if those three things happen tonight, AP would guarantee themselves a playoff appearance. Otherwise, if one of those things does not happen, then they would have to wait till next week for the earliest possible clinching scenario. But Falcons are going for more than just a playoff spot. They're going for at least a home game if they finish in the top 2 of the districts. Meanwhile, Jesup has had its fair share of struggles. They have lost each game by multiple scores, and they've not been able to really compete well at all. Pretty much go time for them, because if they lose, they are eliminated from playoff contention. So, Jason, this Jesup team, obviously a rough go of it here this season, but you got to expect a sense of urgency out of these guys tonight, because, again, if they lose, their season's over.
Yeah, and that's what makes them kind of dangerous is that when you have a record like that, you're willing to try anything in a game to see if it'll work, and AP is going to have to be prepared for all of the trick plays and everything else that Jesup can come up with tonight.
AP is 9-0 all-time against Jesup. The last time these teams met, AP broke the single-game program scoring record back in 2022 with a 72-19 victory on this field. AP enters at 2-3 overall, 1-1 in 1A District 4. Coached by Jeff Pickna, Jesup is 0-5, 0-2 in 1A District 4. Their head coach is Jacob McMartin. And again, we're getting set for a 7 o'clock kickoff. Before that, we've got a lot to get to here on pregame coverage, including the Radio Iowa Scouting Reports. And we'll also hear a pregame interview with AP head coach Jeff Pickna. That's coming up in just a bit. We certainly hope you join us at 7 o'clock for AP and Jesup.
From Radio Iowa Sports, this is the Scouting Report, an in-depth look at this week's prep and college games. Now from our studios in Des Moines, Todd Kim.
The Cyclones put their unbeaten record on the line at Cincinnati. The Panthers open the Missouri Valley race by hosting North Dakota, while Drake opens defense of its PFL title against Valparaiso. And it's week 6 of the high school season. That and more on the Scouting Report.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
As 14th ranked Iowa State takes a 5-0 record to Cincinnati, injuries are piling up, especially in the secondary. Corners John Tez Williams and Jeremiah Cooper have been lost to season-ending knee injuries, and that adds to the concern of taking on Cincinnati dual-threat quarterback Brendan Sorsby, who's led the Bearcats to a 3-1 record, as well as a win at Kansas to open Big 12 play.
It's the most complete team that we're going to play this year, and led by, I would tell you, an elite quarterback. You know, their quarterback is as good as I think we have faced, and you know, he's really talented.
That's ISU coach Matt Campbell. A year ago in Ames, the Cyclones limited Sorsby to 66 yards of passing in a 34-17 Iowa State win.
We're going to need to be able to hit some throws. We're going to have to be able to do that. There's no question. You know, that really hindered us last year, not being able to hit some of those throws in the game. And, you know, I think you got to be able to do both, obviously.
That's Bearcat coach Scott Satterfield. It's an 11 a.m. kickoff. It'll be televised by ESPN2. Homecoming at UNI, where the Panthers open the Missouri Valley race by hosting 15th ranked North Dakota. UNI coach Todd Stepsis expects the North Dakota defense to bring pressure against the Panther offense and quarterback Matthew Scheckelman.
We just have not handled it well, and it feels like they send, you know, they're typically a 4-down front, and so they usually send 5 or more a high percentage of the time, really in every situation. They give you some unique looks as far as, hey, we're going to send one more than you can block, and can you find the open guy in time?
Drake opens a bid for a 3rd straight Pioneer Football League title by hosting Valparaiso. Winning close games has been the formula for the Bulldogs, and Coach Joe Woodley says it will again. Drake has won 10 league games by 10 points or less over the past 2 years.
This league is a grind. I think it's a bunch of teams that are very similar to one another, and you know, the team that makes the least amount of mistakes is the one that's going to win the football game, and that's the challenge to our guys this week, because we've made plenty of them the past couple of weeks. We got to overcome that and learn from it.
The Bulldogs finish non-conference action with a record of 1-2. And in the Heart of America Conference tomorrow, top-ranked and defending NAIA champion Grandview visits 20th-ranked William Penn. Up next, high school football. On the Scouting Report.
Okay, gotta be late. Gotta go. Where'd I put... wallet. Check. And, phone. Check. Keys. Check. Lunch. Check.
Checking for the things you need doesn't take long. But what about checking for your safety? Right now, 1 in every 5 vehicles on the road has an open safety recall. But it only takes seconds to check for open recalls on your car at checktoprotect.org. All you need is your vehicle identification number or license plate number. Your automaker may not have the right information to notify you about recalls by mail, especially if you recently moved or drive an older or used car. Checktoprotect.org is the quick, easy way to find out if your vehicle has an open safety recall and find the closest dealer who can make the repair for free.
Laptop. Check.
Before you go, take a minute. Visit checktoprotect.org. Check to Protect is a program of the National Safety Council.
the Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
At the end of tonight's action, just 2 weeks will remain in the high school regular season for the smallest classes, and district races are heating up. That includes 8-player District 4, where 6th-ranked Easton Valley hosts number 7 Edgewood-Colesburg. Gary Detterman has a preview.
Both teams sit at 5-0 and in the top 10. We asked Easton Valley head coach Derek Irwin if this will be the first true test of the season for both teams.
I think we've played some pretty good teams, the both of us. Springville, I know we talked about them when we came in. That's a really good ball club, and that's a common opponent for us that we both were able to take care of, obviously, with the 5-0 records. But that's a good team, and, there's other good teams in this district, Key High and Elkader, which neither of us have played. But, there's a lot of competition, and we're just both fortunate that we're at the 5-0 point in this point in the season.
Edco is led by one of their younger players.
And they've got a stud behind center. He's got a good arm. He's got good legs. He's only a sophomore, but he's got good size. And he's kind of led their team so far to their start. And if we can, the key is to bottle him up and make sure that he's not beating you.
Edgewood-Colesburg at Easton Valley, a game that is important for both squads with the playoffs just 3 weeks away. For the Radio Iowa Scouting Report, Gary Detterman, KROS Clinton.
8-player top-ranked Bishop Garrigan visits North Union. It's number 3 Gladbrook Rhinebeck at Collins Maxwell. 4th-ranked Woodbine is at home against Coon Rapids Bayard. Class A, top-ranked West Hancock visits Sibley Ocheyedan. Number 2 St. Ansgar is at home against Postville. 3rd-ranked MMCRU visits Galen Catholic. 1A, top-ranked Grundy Center puts a 44-game win streak on the line by hosting number 4 South Hardin. John Mowinkle reports.
Each team has won all its games by multiple scores, with neither team giving up more than 16 points to any opponent. Grundy Center coach Travis Zajac says he hopes his team gains an advantage in the trenches.
Our offensive line continues to trend upward. We had make some adjustments this last week based upon some Clarion's personnel, and I thought that we did a really good job of handling that kind of from a scheme and communication standpoint. And it's taken those lessons and, again, taking another step forward this week.
Spartan quarterback Judd Jarofsky and Tiger quarterback Peyton Welch have each made a name for themselves in Class 1A, being named to many Player of the Year watch lists. South Hardin coach Nick Eller says he feels his skill position players match up well with Grundy Centers, and they'll need to eliminate some mistakes made when the teams met last year.
We've got a lot of weapons. They do too, but I think we got just as many, and we've got to use them all. There's no doubt. It can't just be, Sam Benson show. It can't just be a Cam Adams show. It's got to be by committee and everyone chipping in and keeping their defense honest. And nothing surprising there, but we've got to keep playing like we have been, where we're using everybody, getting everybody the ball, and just play our style of football.
The winner will gain sole possession of first place in 1A District 3.
1A 2nd-ranked West Lyon visits Ridgeview. It's number 3 Regina Catholic at Sigourney-Keota. This season, Bex is recognizing student athletes that are not only a star in athletics, but a player that shows heart in school, at work, through the community, and in the ag industry. Logan Gardner of Eddyville-Blakesburg Fremont says growing up on a 6th-generation farm has helped him in the sport of football.
Learning how to grow up and change, it just helps mature faster and learn how to do a job right, or things may go wrong, which is what kind of helps athletes on the field, because if one person messes up, then the whole team messes up.
Creston's Cadley Bailey started her own cattle herd with her sisters at the age of 8 and says the lessons learned have helped her in athletics.
I know that cows have to be chored at a certain time every day, same with practice. So I guess it really is time management that I've learned with my herd. I have to be somewhere at a specific time.
Besides his work on the family farm, Bishop Garrigan's Carter Schwab is a rare 5-sport athlete.
The only 2 sports that really have conflict is track and golf, and they don't really, the meets don't conflict very much. Maybe one, and if the one coach needs me more, I'll just go there, but I just flip-flop practices every other day.
Besides being a 3-sport athlete, Alexa Betting from Nevada is busy in school activities and helps set up service projects for Key Club.
One of the ones, for example, that we brought last year was hygiene bags for shelters around Ames and Nevada. So everyone from the club brings in like a couple items like a toothbrush, sunscreen, socks, stuff like that.
Nominate a student athlete by searching Beck's Player with Heart. The rest of Week 6 is next on the Scouting Report.
Every day, farmers rise before the sun and put everything they have into a job so few can do. Their courage, resilience, and relentless work shape the legacies and future of our country. At Beck's, we're proud to stand alongside those who don't wait to see what the world will do. They act, they lead, they are the difference. Beck's honors your commitment to your land, family, and purpose. And while we can't predict what the future holds, there is one thing we can do to change it, and that's be the difference, right now, in every decision and every season.
At Beck's, we believe that true champions are not just made on the field, but also in the heart. The Beck's Player with Heart Scholarship celebrates high school student athletes who show dedication, teamwork, and leadership, both in sports and in their communities. We're honoring those who go above and beyond, demonstrating passion, perseverance, and a commitment to making a difference. Nominate a high school student athlete by searching Beck's Player with Heart.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
5 of the teams in a loaded Class 3A District 1 have appeared in the Radio Iowa poll at some point this season, and 2 of them collide tonight as 7th-ranked MOC Floyd Valley visits number 3 Bishop Heelan. Doug Brook has a preview.
Both teams started district play with wins over ranked opponents last week. MOC Floyd Valley coach Grant Hagstead says Heelan's offense goes through running back Cason Thomas, and the Dutch have to make him earn every yard.
It requires 11 guys to get to the football every single play because rarely will he go down on first contact. And it's oftentimes his second, third effort, maybe in that rushing attack, that allows him to spring loose for one. So we believe, if we can keep him in tight confines and if we can team tackle together, it's certainly one that helps slow down the rate at which he can attack.
MOC Floyd Valley's Dylan Mosdem leads the district in rushing. Heelan coach John LaFleur talked about the challenge of containing the Dutch ground game.
Obviously have the state leader in Mosdem kid rushing in our class. He's gonna be a handful. He'll be our toughest opponent yet running the football.
Both teams come in at 4-1 overall and 1-0 in district play. For the Radio Iowa Scouting Report, I'm Doug Brook.
Also in Class 3A tonight, it's top-ranked Clear Lake hosting Benton, while number 2 Solon is at home against Keokuk. In 4A, second-ranked Pella is at home to host number 7 Newton. This game will pit a Newton offense that averages 270 yards of rushing per game against a Pella defense that has only given up 28 points in a 5-0 start. Newton coach Andy Swedenjelm says Pella will counter with an offense that wants to play ball control.
They've done a nice job of controlling the clock, making sure that they chunk plays together consistently and just keep solidly moving the ball. And so, our goal is to try to disrupt that timing this week.
4A, top-ranked Cedar Rapids Xavier hosts Waverly Shell Rockets, number 3 Sergeant Bluff Luton at home against Storm Lake. In Class 5A, second-ranked West Des Moines Valley is at home against an Ankeny Centennial team looking to play its way back into the Radio Iowa top 10. Dar Danielson will call the game for the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Valley's only loss is by 3 points to top-ranked Waukee Northwest, and Centennial has losses to crosstown rival Ankeny and defending champion Southeast Polk. Valley coach Gary Swenson says September's behind us and winning in November for playoff positioning is now important.
If you look at the 2 teams that beat them, they're teams that could easily end up in the Unidome for that semifinal round and maybe even in the championship game. So I don't know how much stock you have to put into a record to date.
Swenson says they need to stop the Jaguars' ground game that uses a lot of motion and misdirection. Centennial co-coach Ryan Pizzetti says getting their running game going will be key for them, as well as stopping Valley's run game and not giving the Tigers easy opportunities with turnovers. Radio Iowa Sports, I'm Dar Danielson.
There's one rated matchup in 5A. It finds 4th-ranked Ankeny hosting number 5 Johnston. Top-ranked Waukee Northwest hosts Ottumwa. It's number 3 Dowling Catholic at Cedar Rapids Kennedy. A key matchup in Class 2A District 5 finds unbeaten Bellevue visiting number 9 Alburnett. Bellevue co-coach Matt Yeager feels the Comets are ready for the challenge.
We knew they were going to be a strong team. We knew kind of their reputation, and we're looking forward to it. And it's, you're going on the road and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's definitely a week where we're going to find out what we're made of for sure.
2A, top-ranked Kemper Catholic hosts Spirit Lake. It's number 2 Osage at home against Waukon, while 3rd-ranked PCM is at home against Albia. That's all for the Scouting Report. For Radio Iowa Sports, I'm Todd Kim.
I'm being joined on Radio on the Go Sports by Aplington-Parkersburg football coach Jeff Pickna as we preview this Week 6 matchup on the road against Jesup. And Coach, thanks for taking some time here. As always, Falcons are coming off of a 48-7 win over Sumner Fredericksburg last week. First district win as well, so certainly always big when that happens. Coach, when it comes to that game last week, what kind of momentum has that given this team going into this week now that you have some momentum on your side and a district win under your belt?
Yeah, I mean, it feels good. Obviously, we want to focus on the next day. We're not trying to live in the past too long, but it's nice to finally get one of those, to get the kids feeling good, understanding how important these games are and stuff. So it feels really good, and we're ready to keep going.
You bet. And in that game, one of your guys I want to shout out here, Creighton Eberhard had a season high in rushing yards, 9 carries, 53 yards that night, and a touchdown as well. So that being said, is getting more carries for guys like him, is that something you guys are going to be kind of intentional with, adding some more wrinkles to the offense when it comes to stuff like that? Or what's kind of your philosophy with that?
Go into any game deciding or thinking what I'm going to do in terms of who's going to get the ball the most. You kind of set up a script, and then based on that script, you kind of see what's being allowed and what's open and what's there available to you. And we felt last week that left side of the line was available and for quick hit runs, and that's what he does. So I just happened to work out in his favor when we called it.
One of the guys I want to give you a chance to recognize here this week as well as Brandon Harparger, who is right now leading the district in intercepted passes. So could you tell me a little bit about him and kind of how he's been able to take charge in that defensive backfield this year, kind of be a ball hawk, if you will?
Yeah, he's been doing really good. Obviously, lately we had a team that we just played a team that didn't pass the ball hardly at all. So, it's been a while since he's got in there, but he's doing really good at working on the offensive side of the ball to make sure that his value is there and his contribution to the team. And he took it really personal last week, made some great downfield blocks that we were very happy to see. So, he's coming along real well.
When it comes to taking on Jesup, it's a team that hasn't won a game yet this year, but obviously you can't worry about records really too much. So when it comes to kind of a scouting report for these guys, what's kind of your synopsis? What are going to be the biggest things you're going to have to be ready to defend when it comes to Jesup here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that just, I've said since week one, we worry more about us than we do anything else. But when we talk about these other teams, we never are in the business of, looking at records and looking at stats and figuring out how serious we're going to take these teams or not. We respect everybody. We know any given Friday, anything can happen. So we treat every game like that the same every week. We don't take certain times off or certain steps back when we think a team is better or worse. We treat everybody the same. So we're going to treat them just as much as we would treat a team that's hasn't lost.
You bet. When it comes to what you guys have been working on here this week in practice, what have been some of those biggest points of emphasis, biggest things you've kind of been working with the team here throughout this week, getting ready for this one?
Yeah, just a lot of stuff up front on the O-line. We're missing a lot of assignments right now. Running backs are making good plays, but there's a lot of things to touch up on there. Especially as we get deeper into district play, there's just mistakes there that we can't keep making. So just touching up on that stuff really is what we've been doing the most.
And I know a big thing throughout the season as well is becoming a more and more disciplined team, trying to do that as you've gone on throughout the season. How's that coming along? Because I know earlier in the season it was a lot of self-inflicted mistakes, but what's your take on kind of how that's been progressing for the team?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of fumbles this year. We had a really good game against Gardner where we did fumble it all. And we came back the next week, we fumbled 3 times again. Then last week did fumble it all. So just creating consistency, understanding the importance of finishing plays the right way and keeping the ball in your hands. Obviously, as everybody knows, turnovers often decide most games, and it definitely has in our case. So kind of putting that out there and showing them how much of an impact it's made on us and how many things we've lost out on because we can't control the ball or take care of it. Hoping the kids take that personal as we work on that stuff.
All right, and last question here for you. Probably said a couple of these already, but when it comes down to it, what are going to be your biggest X factors or keys to victory here against Jesup? What are those biggest things that you're hoping is able to go right for you guys?
Yeah, same things every week. Just stay disciplined, worry about our craft, and make sure that we're playing the most physical, disciplined ball that we can play. And
and the rest of it kind of takes care of itself. It's the same message every week. It'll be the same message this Friday.
All right, that's AP football coach Jeff Pickner here on Radio on the Go Sports. Appreciate the time, and we'll catch you after the game.
Yep, thanks.
All right, more pregame coverage is coming up next. Aplington-Parkersburg and Jesup coming up at 7 o'clock. And the Jayhawks are running over toward their goalpost. They're going to have a grand entrance here. Before we have tonight's opening kickoff, let's go ahead and meet the starting lineups. We will start with the offense for Aplington-Parkersburg. At quarterback, it's senior number 7, Benny Waller. At one running back, it's sophomore number 0, Mason Prusner. Also, senior number 33, Creighton Eberhardt, and sophomore number 32, Devin Eberhardt. The receivers, senior number 6, Brandon Hartbarger, and senior number 14, Braden Kalkworth. On the offensive line, from left to right, senior number 72, Corbin Wyatt, senior number 67, Gavin Allen, senior number 55, EJ Vesley, junior number 62, Mason Kopp, and junior number 66, Parker Mulder. Let's move to the AP. Let's move to the AP defense. Actually, we'll do the Jesup defense here. At one D end, it's senior number 69, Andrew Devlin, and the other D end, senior number 54, Aiden Gance Rogers. The D tackle is number 73, Wyatt Schroeder. And we're going to take a timeout here for the national anthem. Continuing with the starting lineups for Jesup on defense, the linebackers are junior number 14, Eli Haggerty, senior number 58, Drew Munson, number 53, Brax Cavalier, and number 15, Gavin Bell. And the D-backs, sophomore number 2, Cade Reese, sophomore number 7, Tice Larson, junior number 84, Aiden Youngblood, and senior number 3, Max DeVore. For Jesup on offense, at quarterback, it's sophomore number 2, Cade Reese. At running back, sophomore number 0, Bradley Pint. The receivers, senior number 3, Max DeVore, sophomore number 7, Tice Larson, junior number 14, Eli Haggerty, and junior number 84, Aiden Youngblood. And on the offensive line from left to right, senior number 58, Drew Munson, senior number 54, Aiden Gance Rogers, number 73, Wyatt Schroeder, number 69, Andrew Devlin, and number 53, Brax Cavalier. And to the Falcon defense, the DNs are senior number 67, Gavin Allen, senior number 72, Corbin Wyant. The D tackles, senior number 55, EJ Vesley, and senior number 68, Hunter McBride. The linebackers, sophomore number 0, Mason Prusner, junior number 66, Parker Mulder, junior number 59, Cooper Mulder, and junior number 11, Aiden Merrill. And in the AP secondary, senior number 20, Trevin Thomas, senior number 3, Luke Jacobson, junior number 1, Rylan Asher. Head coach of the Falcons is Jeff Bickna. Head coach of the Jayhawks is Jacob McMartin. We've got the coin toss going on. Jesup will receive the opening kickoff. Jason, any thoughts on you about keys to the game?
Well, for AP, I mean, get the running game going. The offensive line's got to understand their assignments, blocking assignments, get the holes open for them, and just no costly mistakes with penalties, and protect the football.
That's been what's been causing AP problems in the games that they've lost. The shooting themselves in the foot with penalties and things like that, especially in that game against Union. We're going to step aside momentarily. Our opening kickoff is next. It's almost time for tonight's opening kickoff between Aplington-Parkersburg and Jesup. John Mowinkle, Jason Eaton with you here. And the Falcons will kick it off from left to right, as we see it from our press box broadcast location. End over end kickoff, angling to the left, returnable by one of the upmen of the Jayhawks, who are wearing the military appreciation uniforms. You hardly ever see Jesup wearing black and gold, but that is exactly what is taking place here tonight. So here come the Jayhawks on offense. After scoring just 2 points in a loss to Union on the road last week, the Jayhawks will see what they're able to get done. They will start this drive not too bad, back at their own 37-yard line as we get this one rolling. First meeting between these programs since 2022 when AP won 72-19 on this field. So they will start under center, and it'll be an empty backfield. It's a QB keeper, Reese with it, lunges forward, and this play is going to get blown up. Couple yards at best on that QB keeper. Somewhat of an unusual play there, especially to start the game. A little atypical, if you will. But that picks up 2 yards out to the 39-yard line. Ball spotted near the middle of the field. Just underway here in this Week 6 matchup. AP can clinch a playoff spot with a win and some other help in the district tonight. Reese lines up under center. He turns around, hands it off, and a dive play to the right, and this one is busted immediately. Bradley Pint gets tripped up after gaining a yard at best. It's going to be 3rd and long coming up for the Jayhawks. They're going to say no gain on the play officially by Bradley Pint. And here comes Max DeVore in from the sideline for the Jayhawks. All right, Jason, now time for a stop for the Falcons defensively. They've got Jesup right where they want them.
Yeah, Jesup doesn't have a really good passing game, and these 3rd and longs don't bode very well for their offense.
3rd down and 7, Jayhawks at the 39-yard line in their own territory. Reese on a roll out to the right, looks downfield, line drive pass. It's caught along the sideline by Larson. Inbounds, tapping the toes. Gain of 12-ish yards out to about the 50-yard line. A little bit across for the Jesup first down. So the first pass attempt of the game is a first down gain by Tice Larson through the air.
Just as I say, they don't have much of a passing game. They pick up that first down.
1st and 10, Jesup at the 50-yard line. Reese, screen pass to the right. He's got his intended receiver over on the far side of the field. And he's going to be spun down after a short pickup on the play. That's about the 47-yard line in AP territory. Looked like number 4, Gavin Cherry, making the catch. Picks up about 3 yards. So that one gains 4, they will say, to make it 2nd down and 6. No, that looks more like a gain of 3 to me, so we'll call it a gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. Cade Reese now 2 for 2 for 14 yards passing for Jesup. Larson motions, handoff to him on a sweep left. Looks to turn the corner. Merrill dove out, couldn't quite reach out and make the tackle. And Larson goes out of bounds, signaled 1st down, though he was shy of the marker. He'll gain yardage to about the 42-yard line, picks up 5. So it'll be 3rd down and short coming up for the Jayhawks. 3rd down and 2 to be exact. Just underway here in this first quarter, 9:57 to go. Neither team has scored. And now the Falcons have a chance for a crucial stop on 3rd down and 2. From the 46-yard line, in AP territory, Jesup lining up under center with Reese. Hard count, dive play to the right. This will be 1st down yardage for the running back, Pint. Lowers the shoulders and lunges down to about the 38. Ends up picking up 4 yards when the Jayhawks needed 2, and Jesup is putting together a nice little drive here to get underway down toward the north end of their home field. Bradley Pint, 2 carries, 4 yards for Jesup. 1st and 10 out of the 38-yard line of AP. And Haggerty motions to the right side of the formation. Handoff Pint, follows blockers, lowers the shoulders. Gets to at least the 31-yard line by the time he's brought down by several AP defenders. And Jesup is just picking up chunk yards at a time here. This one will gain about 7 yards to just shy of the 30-yard line. Bradley Pint of Jesup coming in averaging 3.3 yards per carry. But right now, he's averaging a little more than that. Another handoff left. Pint fights across the 30-yard line toward the line to gain. And looks to be just enough for a 1st down. From the 30 to the 28, and the Jayhawks move the sticks. Well, this is a type of game where the longer the team that isn't supposed to win is able to keep confidence, the longer that happens, the better chance they will have. And Jesup is doing exactly what they want to do right now. Single running back in the formation. Under center is Reese. Steps back, throws it over the middle. He was hit as he threw it. The incomplete pass, great pressure by Colbin Hoppenworth of the Falcons. Give him credit for a QB hurry and a first incompletion of the game for Jesup sophomore quarterback Cade Reese. 2 for 3 for 14 yards for him. 2nd down and 10 coming up. 8:24 to go in this first quarter. Let's see if the AP defense can dig in and come up with a needed stop here. Jesup is sniffing the red zone. Now they go in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the right side. And a swing pass to the right side, Larson. And let's see, do they rule that a lateral? It's going to be nope, they are going to move it backwards. They're going to say it's a lateral and loss of yardage. So back to the 34-yard line. The pass went backwards, so now it's going to be 3rd down and long coming up for the Jayhawks. That one ended up losing about 5 yards. So it'll be 3rd down and 15. Now we got whistles. Looks like the Jayhawks have called a timeout. All right, so the Jayhawks now have really their first long yardage situation of the day. 3rd down and 15. And it was just a simple miscommunication on that swing pass to the right side when Reese was looking for Larson. Ends up going backwards, so certainly a play that AP feels that they can take advantage of now that they've got the Jayhawks in a 3rd and long. So AP's clinching scenario this week is a win tonight, a win by Union over Hudson, and then a win by Columbus Catholic over Sumner Fredericksburg. If those 3 results happen, then AP would clinch no worse than 4th place in 1A District 4. Top 4 teams in each district qualify for the playoffs. 3-way ties are broken by point differential. So it's also a game where you want to win by at least 17 points because that's the cap for the point differential average per game anyway. 3rd and 15 for the Jayhawks after their first time out of the game is over with. The line of scrimmage is the 33-yard line in AP territory. Larson motions into the backfield. It's a QB keeper. Reese takes it right, still on his feet. It's going to take several Falcons to bring him down, ultimately brought down around the 25 where he spun down. So it'll be 4th down coming up. They pick up about 8 yards on 3rd and 15 to make it a 4th down and 7. Mason Kopp was one of the Falcons in there to help bring him down. 4th down and 8 coming up for the Jayhawks. Need to get it down to the 17 to pick up the first. 3 receivers out to the left side. Here's Reese back to throw. Sets the feet. Pump fakes. It's going to be fumbled. It's going to be picked up in the backfield. And AP forces a turnover on downs. Mason Kopp there to pile upon one of the Jesup players who recovered the fumble. And AP will take over near midfield with a chance to strike first. And now we've got an injury timeout. One of the Jayhawk players is down on the field around the numbers at about the 34-yard line. But a heck of a defensive stop there for the Falcons, Jason, and a chance for them to take advantage with only 60 yards to drive.
Yeah, I mean, but still a pretty good drive, though, out of Jesup. I mean, they had 12 plays that drive, so they came out, showed that they can move their offense a little bit, and AP's going to have to figure out how to stop that if they, to stay in the game, obviously, but we're real early here, but got to figure out how to get them out a little bit sooner, more than 12 plays.
So that play went backwards for 15 yards. So Jesup now has 9 carries as a team for 8 yards. They were 8 for 23, but after that 15-yard loss, now 9 for 8. Cade Reese, Jesup's quarterback, finishes that drive 2 for 3 passing for 14 yards. So as soon as the injury timeout is over with, the Falcon offense will get their first crack starting at their own 40-yard line. Also, we'll be interested to see the Grundy Center versus South Hardin game, how that one turns out in Grundy Center tonight. So here comes AP taking over with 7 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the first quarter on their first possession of the game. So they'll go under center here with Waller. I formation. He dropped the ball. Now a scramble for it on the ground. And it looks like AP recovers it. But that could have been a costly mistake by the Falcons. After it's all done, it's going to be a gain of about half of a yard to bring up 2nd down and 10. That could have been bad for AP. Giving it right back to Jesup after they were driving down the field. 2nd and 10. Let's see how that quarterback center exchange goes this time around. Handoff left. Prusner plunges through the hole. Still on his feet at about the 50-yard line and brought down. What a run by Mason Prusner. First down yardage out to the 50. Had another game of 100-plus yards. Was his 3rd straight last week against Sumner Fredericksburg. And he's 10% of the way there right now. 6:09 to go in the first quarter. AP moves the chains on the 2nd snap of the game. And neither team has scored. So now they line up the pistol with 2 running backs in the formation. Creighton Eberhardt gets the handoff. Inside zone to the left. Nice off-tackle carry out across the 45-yard line. And he's one of the guys who had a nice game last week against Sumner Fredericksburg. Had a season high in his number of yards. This time he picks up 6 on the ground. Falcons now have 16 rushing yards as a team. It was a no-doubter last week against Sumner Fredericksburg. The Falcons put the running clock rule in motion in the first half. And here's another run down the far side of the field. Benny Waller looking to take it to the house from 44 yards out. He takes it. Touchdown, Aplington-Parkersburg. Benny Waller with a 44-yard score, and it's 6-0 Falcons with 5:07 to go in the first quarter. Excellent blocking by the Falcons, and AP is an extra point away from taking a 7-0 lead. Benny Waller, one of the big parts of his game this year has been the ability to use his legs. Extra point attempt is coming up right now for the Falcons. Looks like they got Cooper Mulder out to attempt this PAT. Snap, spot, kick, and it is good. So with 5:07 to go in the first quarter, it's Aplington-Parkersburg 7, Jesup 0. A 44-yard touchdown carry by AP quarterback Benny Waller. And with 5:07 to go in the first quarter, it's Aplington-Parkersburg 7, Jesup 0. So now a good chance for AP to bring some momentum into this next defensive series. They let the Jayhawks drive on them for a little bit, but it was a bend but don't break situation there. AP ended up having forcing a 15-yard loss on a 4th down to turn it over on downs and get it back. But Jason, Benny Waller's been an X factor so far this year for the Falcons, and getting it done to the ground game there almost looks more like a running back when he's out there carrying the football.
Yeah, he's second on the team in rushing, just behind Prusner. So, I mean, they're only separated by 20, 30 yards. So he's definitely carried the ball quite a bit this year.
Youngblood returns it for Jesup, and the Jayhawks will have a decently long field to drive. They will start this around the 25-yard line. Spotted on the right hash at the 24 to be exact. Well, in the last series, the Jayhawks picked up a decent amount of yardage out to about the 25-yard line of Aplington-Parkersburg before the drive ultimately came to an end. And here's going to be a short run that goes nowhere. That Aplington-Parkersburg defense sends them backwards for a yard. 2nd and 11 coming up. There's Reese actually on the carry, so he goes backwards for 1. 2nd and 11 for the Jayhawks. Now they'll spread it out. 2 receivers here to the left side. Reese in the shotgun, throws it left to Larson on a screen. Gets popped right after making the catch. Heck of a play by the Falcons. Trevin Thomas lowers the shoulders and brings him down. 3rd down and 11 coming up. AP 7, Jesup 0. 4:05 and ticking to go in this first quarter. Back to throw. Over the middle, and this is going to be... Is that going to be caught? No, incomplete pass. And they actually did put out Eli Haggerty at quarterback after Cade Reese got the start. So Haggerty started the season at quarterback, then moved over to receiver. And now it's going to be 4th down and 10 for the Jayhawks. Here's the punt, up in the air. Bouncing at the 45-yard line, Mara will not return. It takes a nice Jesup roll out to the 34-yard line. So a decent punt for the Jayhawks gives the Falcons a little bit of a longer field to drive. Their last drive started at the 40-yard line. This time they will start at the 34. 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the first quarter. AP 7, Jesup 0. Falcons will look for a win tonight, as well as wins by Columbus Catholic and Union in this district to clinch a playoff spot. So Hartbarger will line up on the near side. Kalkorf on the far side. One receiver to each side of the formation. A running back and two wing backs as well. We got people moving up front. Looks to be on the Jayhawks. And this is going to be a 5-yard penalty against Jesup. So the Falcons will look to take advantage of that. From the 34 to the 39 here with 3.5 to go in the first quarter. Grundy Center is on top of South Hardin 7-0 midway through the first quarter. Number 2 versus number 4 in Class 1A. Waller turns around, hands off. Prusner tries taking it, but this is going to be blown up. But excellent job for Mason Prusner fighting for yardage after that initial contact. Able to fight back to the line of scrimmage for no gain and bring up 2nd and 5. He's just a sophomore, but in his second season of starting already here for AP after making a big splash in his freshman season last year. Helping lead the team to a Class 1A playoff appearance. Last year was a 4th place finish in the district, but AP has a chance to finish a lot higher this year. A first-round home playoff game is still well within the picture. Prusner lunges across the line to gain, spins down to the 45-yard line. Moves the chains, picks up 6 on 2nd down. Mason Prusner up to 16 yards on 3 carries. Falcons got on the board with a 44-yard touchdown scurry by Benny Waller. Made a couple guys miss along the way. 1st and 10 Falcons at their own 46. And Waller in the pistol. Up the middle handoff. Eberhardt takes it. Out across the 50-yard line. From the 41 out to the, 46 out to the opposite 47. Eli Haggerty there to make the tackle for the Jayhawks. 2nd down and 3 after the gain of 7. This has kind of been AP's formula, at least what they've tried to establish pretty much all season long, using as much clock as possible. And then if you get a long run like Waller's, then that's excellent as well. Creighton Eberhardt motions, fake the handoff to him. Instead, it's a handoff Prusner. Nice play design. Takes it out to the line to gain. Looks to be enough for an AP first down, picking up about 4 on 2nd and 3. Another chain mover for the Falcons with 1 minute and 37 seconds left in the first quarter. So probably a couple more plays left in this quarter. Down to 120. Waller, QB keeper, right through the middle, spins to the 40-yard line. Gains about 4 yards. Waller now up to 48 rushing yards on 2 carries. That touchdown, by the way, was his first of the game. And no score updates available from Hudson or Sumner yet. 2nd down and 6 coming up out to the 39-yard line of Jesup. AP going with the white pants look tonight. It's not too often that they break those out, but we got movement up front here. Looks to be against Jesup. And if it is, it would be their 2nd encroachment penalty of this drive. And that is the case. So another 5-yard penalty against the Jayhawks will make it 2nd and 1. by the way, the Jesup uniforms tonight are actually military appreciation jerseys. Waller on a QB keeper, gets hit, tries spinning out of the tackle, and forward progress is blown dead. Now this is going to be close. Looks to be no gain. It's going to be 3rd and short coming up. Waller got back to the line, tried spinning, tried bouncing it outside, but not able to get anywhere with it. That'll be the end of the first quarter. Aplington-Parkersburg leads Jesup 7-0. Aplington-Parkersburg 7, Jesup 0 as we head to the second quarter. A very fast-moving first quarter with both teams keeping it on the ground for the most part, except for a couple of pass attempts by the Jayhawks. AP did not throw a pass in the entire first quarter. Now they have 3rd down and 1 as we head to the second quarter. Switching ends to the opposite side of the field. Mason Prusner gets the carry. He lost the football. It's on the ground. Jesup looks to have recovered it. And a tough break for the Falcons. They were grinding out an excellent drive. Unfortunately, it's coughed up by Prusner through the contact. After gaining a couple of yards, would have been enough for a first down, but they'll give it right back to the Jayhawks on the game's first turnover. All right, now the Falcons have to dig deep after that miscue. Just underway here in the second quarter. Jesup takes over at their own 32-yard line. Haggerty takes the shotgun snap, runs to the left, gets to the 40-yard line and brought down from behind. That was a good run by their quarterback, picks up about 9 yards. And Jesup looks to be in business here. And this game, you know, for the underdog is going pretty much almost as well as it could, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and AP having a little trouble, you know, keeping the ball. They had that fumbled snap on their opening drive, and then they lose that one. So protecting that football, like Coach Pickman talked about, they got to do it.
And this will be a backwards run by Oscar Cole, a freshman of Jesup, number 5 in black and gold. Certainly did not expect him to have any carries, especially early on. This one goes backwards for 2. So 3rd down and short. Jesup needs to get to the 42, some flinching up front. The ball is free. It's going to be a 4th down. Another mishandled snap by the Jayhawks. Jesup was able to recover, but it's going to be a loss of yardage to make it 4th and 4. That ball must be slippery out there tonight with how many quarterback center exchanges have been off target. So it'll be another team rush of -2 yards, and Jesup brings out the punt unit. So that's a turnover by the Falcons on the previous drive is ultimately proving not to be terribly costly. They'll just lose a little field position. Line drive punt, angling left, and takes a great Jesup roll. And Aiden Merrill of the Falcons will not do anything with it. He will just let that thing bounce to around the 30-yard line. So 10 minutes exactly to go in the second quarter. Falcons take over back at their own 30-yard line. They got it down around the 40-yard line of the previous drive before the fumble occurred by Mason Prusner. And they'll look to run some more clock here, control the tempo of this game, and take better care of the football.
Overall, a really good job out of AP's defense that time.
Certainly.
2 drives in a row where they get 3 and out, so they're settling down a little bit after that opening drive. That's a good sign.
This will be a short run. Prusner takes it forward for about 2 to 3 yards. Braden Kalkorf, one of the receivers, was deep in the action on that play as well. That play goes forward for about 2.5 yards. It'll be second down and a long 7 coming up for the Falcons. Rylan Asher is checked in as the lone receiver here on the near side. Full house pistol formation, handoff left. Prusner still on his feet, dragging people out across the 40. Near first down yardage, that's enough to move the chains. Prusner up to 7 carries, 33 yards in the game. First and 10 Falcons, out to the 42-yard line in their own territory. Got on the board in the first quarter with a 44-yard touchdown scamper by quarterback Benny Waller. Pistol full house formation. Delayed handoff. Nope, it's going to be a QB keeper, Waller. And he fakes everyone out, taking it down the far sideline for the AP touchdown. Benny Waller, a 58-yard touchdown run, and it's 13-0 Aplington-Parkersburg. The second time they've done that, they faked everybody out, and the Falcons are up by 2 scores.
And for Waller, that's going to be his 8th rushing touchdown of the season. And he's ripped off a couple big ones here tonight.
Gains of 44 and 58 on the ground, along with a 4-yard gain in between all those. 4 carries, 106 yards for Benny Waller. And here comes the extra point attempt. Cooper Mulder out there trying to put this thing through the uprights. Snap, spot, kick. No good. So with 8:44 to go in the second quarter, it's AP 13, Jesup 0. A 58-yard touchdown scurry by Benny Waller, and the Falcons lead Jesup 13-0 with 8 minutes and 44 seconds left in the second quarter. John Mowinkle, Jason Eaton with you here. And the Falcons on that scoring drive was pretty similar to their first scoring drive of the game. Just grinded out a few chunk plays and then ripped off a long run. Against Garner Hayfield Ventura back in week 3, the Falcons did not pass the ball. I wonder if that's going to be a similar formula here tonight. Here comes Mulder out to kick it off. Ball is placed on the near hash of the 40. End over end kick. It'll be returnable for Youngblood of the Jayhawks. Takes it at the 10-yard line. Runs left and up the hash marks. Still on his feet, and he's going to take it to the house. Got through all the AP kick coverage defenders, and it's going to be a 90-yard touchdown return by Jesup's Aiden Youngblood. And what a game changer that could prove to be for the Jayhawks, giving them a little bit of momentum. 90 yards on the kickoff return by Aiden Youngblood. That's the third one of the season that he has housed. And Jesup will try to cut this thing down to a 6-point game with a PAT attempt upcoming. And Jesup does have a female kicker on the roster, Haley Gangler. With Haggerty out to hold. And now we got the head referee making sure his other two guys under the goalpost are ready to roll. So here we go. Snap, spot, kick. It is up and good. So with 8:31 to go in the second quarter, AP 13, Jesup 7. 8:31 to go in the second quarter. AP 13, Jesup 7. The Jayhawks had a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Aiden Youngblood. And Jason, the AP kick coverage team kind of just broke down there. They allowed themselves to be blocked cleanly by Jesup, allowing Youngblood to take pretty much untouched.
Yeah, you see a lot of those plays. A lot of times they break out in the middle and then they bust it outside and they're able to get down the sideline. That time, the middle of the field was just wide open. So really good blocking there out of the Jesup kick return team.
Again, an AP win, and wins by Union and Columbus Catholic would clinch the Falcons' playoff spot. So Jesup has it teed up. Columbus leads Sumner Fredericksburg 19-0 at the end of the first quarter. So here comes the kickoff from Tice Larson, a Jayhawk sophomore who also plays wide receiver and defensive back. And here it is. Sidewinds to the near sideline. Out to the 10-yard line, bobbled and picked up by Aiden Merrill. Runs to the right and gets taken down. Heck of a tackle made by Jesup's kick coverage team. Gives the Falcons a long field to drive. They'll have to take it 80+. But the good news for the Falcons, it does give them a great opportunity to run a lot of clock. They'll start this all the way back at their own 15-yard line with 8:26 to go till halftime. Hartbarger and Kalkworth line up as the receivers on each side. And now we got movement up front again.
Looks like it's
going to be the third offside penalty against Jesup. Had 2 on the previous drive. And again, we'll give the Falcons 5 free yards, so they'll move the ball out to the 20. But for AP, it probably doesn't change the play call really much at all at this point of the field. And given how much time is on the clock, Prusner receives the handoff. Not a whole lot happening here. Jesup doing a great job of covering up front. Picks up a couple yards at best to bring up 2nd and 3 out to the 22-yard line. Falcons will have their home finale next week by hosting Hudson, and then they'll be at Columbus to close out the regular season in week 8. 2nd and 3 coming up after Prusner takes it for 2. And now we got a whistle blown. And a timeout has been called by AP with 7:44 to go here until halftime. Out in Grundy Center, the Spartans lead South Hardin 7-0 as of the end of the first quarter. That was a little while back. That is number 2 in 1A Grundy Center and number 4 in 1A South Hardin. A bit surprised that the Spartans ended up being ranked number 2 in the first rankings, despite being on a 44-game win streak, but West Lyon actually got the nod as the top-ranked team in Class 1A. And we're a couple years into the new ranking system where the IHSAA waits until week 5 to announce any rankings. Any other polls out there are pretty much for entertainment purposes only. IHSAA is the official rankings that will determine the playoff seeding. So you want to be ranked as high as you can, because the higher you're ranked, the more likely of a chance you have to have several home playoff games, especially when it comes to the later rounds. Your district champions are guaranteed to have your first 2 playoff games at home. And this is for classes A through 2A. 3A on up is a little bit different. So now they line up in the shotgun. And a QB keeper for Waller, but Jesup expected it that time. He faked the handoff and tried sweeping it right. Did gain just enough for a first down. It didn't look like a whole lot, but it was enough to move the chains for the Falcons. First down yardage out to the 30. Benny Waller now up to 5 carries, 109 yards, including 2 touchdown runs. 44 and 58 yards by Waller, the 2 touchdowns. 7:18 and ticking here in the second quarter. Handoff right, and this one is stuffed. Prusner takes it for a couple yards at best. Actually checked that was Devin Eberhard on the carry. Under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. And AP is using a lot of clock. Wonder if they're counting on a long run at some point here again. We will see. Colbin Hoppenworth lines up in the slot. Or check that is Devin Eberhard, number 32, not 82. Benny Waller surges forward near the 35-yard line. And there is an AP player that's a little slow to get up. Not everyone looks to be all good here. So third down and short coming up after Waller takes it for about 7.
You know, John, it doesn't look like really Jesup's like they've got a spy or anything on Waller. You would think at this point, with some of the runs he's ripped off, they'd be having that middle linebacker spying him. I'm not seeing that out of their defense.
And their secondary is playing rather shallow on this down and distance. And this is going to be a QB keeper that gets stood up. So 4th and short coming up for the Falcons. Nope, they're going to move the chains. I think AP might have gotten away with one there. That did not look like was quite enough for a first. But AP will move the chains out to the 35-yard line. Still in their own territory with 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Handoff up the middle. And this one again gets busted up. Jesup has made some defensive adjustments here as of late. Stacking the box and busting some of these AP runs for short gains. Mason Prusner takes that one for 2 yards. He's up to 9 carries for 37 yards. Benny Waller has both AP rushing touchdowns in the game so far. Could the first pass attempt of the game be coming up pretty soon? 2 receivers to the right. Waller turns to the right and runs. Gets tripped up by the ankle near the line of scrimmage, and then was able to take it for a few yards after contact. Ends up picking up around 4. Out to the 41-yard line, still in their own territory, but sets up a more manageable third down situation than had he gotten tripped up at the spot of first contact.
this Jesup defense, they're just begging to get beat over the top. They've only got one safety back with Youngblood, and he's playing basically about 10 yards off the ball.
Probably a perfect time to go for a pass here. Eberhard motions into the backfield. They give it to him on a sweep to the right. Still on his feet, and he gets taken down back at the 40-yard line. Jesup had that one read well, and it's going to bring up a 4th down for the Falcons after Eberhard goes backwards for 1. All right, now a decision time for the Falcons. 4th and 4 at their own 40. Three and a half minutes to go in the first half. If you give it back to the Jayhawks here, they'll have a prime scoring opportunity late in the half. Waller back to pass for the first time of the game. He's under pressure. Over the middle, it's incomplete. Looking for Kalkorf on a post pattern left side. Falcons turn it over on downs, and the Jayhawks will have fantastic starting field position. They will start at the AP 40-yard line after the Falcons are unable to convert after what started as a pretty promising drive.
10-play drive that time, picked up a couple first downs. Looked like they were just kind of going to milk the clock a little bit, but couldn't convert on that 4th down, and Jesup will take over.
And now the Jayhawks have a chance to take a lead with the touchdown and PAT. Haggerty hands off up the middle, and this play gets busted. Oscar Cole runs into the line of scrimmage, then gets plopped back. He's going to lose the yard to make it 2nd and 11. And he is a freshman, so not much experience. 5'7", 145. Maybe not quite there physically yet. He had 3 carries for 21 yards in the season coming into this game. Pistol formation. Here's Haggerty. Throws it to the right side. He's got Youngblood. Bobbled it and caught it. Hurdles over a man at the 40-yard line and spun down. Hunter McBride there to make the stop for the Falcons. And that pass play picks up about 3 to make it 3rd down and 8. Haggerty with his first pass completion of the game. First catch of the game for Youngblood as well. 3rd and 8 for the Jayhawks at the 38-yard line of AP. The line to gain is the 30. Jesup has not been able to contend with any of its opponents so far. Lost 41-2 last week to Union. Deep throw, looking for it all. Bobbled and incomplete, deflected by the Falcons. Heck of a pass break up there by Aplington-Parkersburg. Trying to see who exactly that was in the AP secondary. I think that was Trevin Thomas there to break up the pass. And now we've got a timeout called by the Jayhawks on 4th down. So 2 minutes and 2 seconds left in the first half. Jesup will have 4th down and 8 at the 38-yard line of AP, needing to get it to the 30. They've had some good punts tonight. They've been long punts. I'm not sure you really love to punt it here. Probably the fact that they're calling a timeout tells me that they won't punt. But you never know. Dykno Hartford trails Roland Story 21-7 early in the 2nd quarter. Holy smokes. So the timeout is over with. And now the Falcon defense will look for a big time stop here on this 4th and 8. Jesup has gone to the air a few times in the game. Between their 2 quarterbacks, they are 3 of 5. So here's Haggerty in the shotgun. Looks left, throws left. He's got Youngblood. Looks to be just enough for a 1st down. Right at the line to gain. Move the chains, Jayhawks. A pickup of 8 yards, just enough for the 1st down. And Jesup is now really putting the pressure on the Falcons. 25 passing yards, but they have come in clutch situations. Down to 1:40 and ticking in the first half. Remember, AP will receive the second half kickoff. Quarterback Haggerty takes it up the middle. Doesn't get too far here, but they do move forward for about 3. Just his second carry of the game. Now to the 26-yard line, 2nd down and 7. Down to 1 minute 15 seconds left. Jesup has 1 timeout left. AP has 2. Handoff left. This is Cole again, still on his feet, taking it left, being swarmed by several AP players in white jerseys. Ultimately brought down shy of the line to gain. Hoppenworth and Thomas in the area to help bring him down. We're down to 50 seconds until halftime. It's going to be 3rd and about 3. Now Jesup lines up in the shotgun, 2 receivers to each side of the field. Haggerty throws it to the right side, intercepted by the Falcons. What a takeaway by Aplington-Parkersburg. There to pick it off, Luke Jacobson in the secondary. And AP comes up with a clutch takeaway. All right, Jason, 29 seconds for the Falcons to see what they can do here before halftime hits.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe try a deep pass here, maybe get some points on the board that way, or they might just be content to run out the clock.
So 29 seconds, they'll start at their own 20 on the drive. And they will line up with 2 receivers to each side. So Merrill and Kalkorf here on the near side, Devin Eberhardt and Hartbarger over to the far side. Waller back to pass with 4 receivers. Stepping up in the pocket, and he gets sacked. Clock still running now at 20 seconds. AP would not have to snap it again. Jesup is not calling a timeout, so I'd imagine after that, AP will be content to just bring this thing to halftime. A loss of 5 by Waller, and that is it. A little bit of a sloppy first half by the Falcons. They still lead Jesup, though, 13-7. Halftime is next. We've reached our Wiffles Hybrids halftime show live from Jesup. John Moenkel here in the broadcast booth, and joining me right now is AP Superintendent Travis Fleschner. Lots of things to talk about here with the district. By the way, AP does lead Jesup 13-7 here at halftime. But Mr. Fleschner, thanks for taking some time with us here. What's it been like for you here getting started with this school year? Obviously, a whole lot of things going on with this upcoming bond votes. What's all been keeping you busy?
Yeah, well, I mean, lots of things. Great start to the school year overall. Staff and students are kind of settling into the routines right now. But, big thing as far as, kind of throughout the district, and particularly with the school board, is our upcoming bond referendum in November.
So here to mostly talk about that here today. It's something that the district tried to do last school year, ended up being denied in the vote in last November. So when it comes to this upcoming vote in November, any key differences that you guys in the school board have kind of been going through here as far as getting this, whether it be out to the community or like the scope of the project? What are some of the differences this time as opposed to last year?
Yeah, so I think a few things as we kind of went into this, right? So last year's bond referendum that was unsuccessful, it'd been a long time since the AP communities really kind of seen a referendum come in front of them. So if anything, we really got kind of maybe some public's attention as far as, hey, we're looking at these things. I don't know if it's really necessarily different, but we really went back and surveyed the community and really listened to the community as far as things that they liked in the last referendum, some things maybe they didn't like in the last referendum. Had a 13-person community group meet several hours on several different nights to kind of put it together. Probably one of the biggest differences is really probably a couple of things. One, I think there's a lot more detail in this year's plan as far as costing and those kind of things. But the other, probably maybe even more important going into this, is that the work will be done in Parkersburg Elementary, and there'll be work done in the Aplington building. And to just be very, very clear with all of our patrons about that, we know that the repurposing of Parkersburg Elementary last year was probably a really, really big concept, and probably also, a bit of a sensitive subject as well, and maybe rightfully so. So that's something we heard from the community. That's probably one of the biggest changes is we've got a plan set in place for basically HVAC, electrical upgrades, and secure entrances at Parkersburg Elementary. Very similar in Aplington, secured entry, heating, cooling upgrades. But the probably difference there is we need to do a little bit more roof work in Aplington than we do at Parkersburg Elementary.
Yeah, so information will be soon coming out about all that stuff. I know last year there were some planned projects at the high school to be made. Where does that kind of come into play with this year's potential votes?
Yeah, yep. So something else that we've kind of really worked through this year is probably coming a little bit more of a phased approach to try to get into the construction. Really the meat and potatoes, if you will be that heating, cooling, electrical update are the biggest pieces. There's a little bit of an unknown in this year's project, and that is what is the impact or potential impact of tariffs. And that could be a pretty sizable number. So we've got that built in. Maybe it'll come to fruition, maybe it won't, but we also know we have to have that money available. If tariffs maybe aren't what we think they're going to be, or their impact will be less than maybe we anticipated, we do have some other projects kind of on deck, if you will, to kind of use those funds for. And some of that is a possible career and tech ed expansion at the high school.
What have been some of the most important things you've learned as far as that you've received from feedback from the community, as far as some of the things maybe they didn't like about how things were set up for last year's vote?
I think first and foremost, in our survey we saw this as well, but we also know obviously, really, really high voter turnout. You're in a kind of a really energy-charged ballot already. Anytime you talk about people's tax rates and property tax rates, that can be something people can get into, and again, fairly and rightfully so. And I think the other piece is the fact that keeping Parkersburg Elementary, the way it is right now, there's really, we've kind of dropped talking about grade reconfigurations and those kind of things. Get the building in good working order. I think those are probably the biggest things going into this year's project. And I think the community wanted more detail, and I think we've tried to provide that. I'd really, really encourage, and maybe we'll get to that, the website that we've got linked on our school homepage is all kinds of information there. I'd really encourage people to go out and take a look at that.
Yeah, not only that, but you've got some community meetings coming up. What are you able to share about those, and what people are going to be able to learn about at those meetings?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of dates. October 16th, we'll be at Parkersburg Elementary from 6 to 7:30 in the evening. And then at the Aplington building on October 21st from 6 to 7:30. And there's several other dates that are just kind of more meet and greets, if you will, some coffee stops. Those will all be sent out in the, and on the website. Those are all open. We encourage people to come in. If you can only be there for 15 or 20 minutes, that's great. If you want to be there for an hour and a half, that's great. And really just offer a good face-to-face opportunity for people to ask questions. And the 16th and the 21st, those will also opportunities to actually tour. If you want to go see these things firsthand, strongly encourage you to stop by, and we'll get you around the buildings.
All right, looking through our pamphlets here, is there anything else kind of major with this that we should touch on here at this point before we move on to a couple other things here?
Not really. What I really encourage people to do is if you've got questions, check the website out. Give me a call, shoot me an email. Love to visit with you about it because we want people to go to the ballot box informed. Whether you support it or you don't support it, I'd ask you just to be informed about it. Understand what you're voting for, maybe voting against before you go in. The things that we're asking for, honestly, we feel are really basic needs, and they're not going to get cheaper. And, a 1956 boiler that's currently in operation at Parkersburg Elementary is not going to operate any more efficiently next year than it is this year. So, I don't think there's anything out there that's too outlandish in our opinion. And it's really about conditions for kids and staff.
All right. Is there anything else going on with the school board here as of the last couple meetings here that is fairly major, or is it this kind of the big one here for you guys?
Yeah, this is probably the biggest focus right now, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the school board work happens, maybe end of the school year through the summer. Now we kind of turn it over to building principals and the staff to kind of take care of those things. But, there is an upcoming, school board election, on that November ballot as well, and ask people to kind of make themselves informed going in for that choice as well.
All right. Any final thoughts you'd like to share here today?
Yeah, I really appreciate the coverage as always. Kind of a slow start to the first half here is shifting it to football, but hopefully the Falcons will come out and get ready to go and kind of get on the board a little more frequently here in the second half.
You bet. That's AP Superintendent Travis Fleshner joining us here at halftime. Thank you so much for the time here today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, we'll be back in just a sec. Aplington-Parkersburg 13, Jesup 7. This is the Wiffles Hybrids halftime show. When you plant Wiffles, you're not just choosing superior seed corn, you're making a statement that says staying independent, family-owned, and it means something on your farm. So plant Wiffles Hybrids. One thing done right. In Franklin and Wright counties, see Connor McElderry. In Grundy County, see Ben Cool. And in Hardin County, check with Chelsea Hokeson. John Mullinkle and Jason Eaton with you here. The Falcons gave up a kickoff return touchdown to the Jayhawks for their only score of the game. Benny Waller has 2 touchdown carries for the Falcons. One of 44 yards and one for 58 yards. He's got 9 carries for 116 for the Falcons. Mason Prusner, 9 carries, 37. Creighton Eberhardt, 2 for 13. Falcons have 1 pass attempt. It was an incompletion by Benny Waller. Well, the good news for the Falcons is that they will receive the second half kickoff here from Jesup with a 13-7 lead. And the Falcons, for the most part, have been grinding out long possessions using a lot of clock when they've possessed the ball, but have only had 2 touchdowns to show for it. Jason, will be interesting to see what kind of intensity the Falcons come out with after a first half that left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, first half, I mean, they didn't really take advantage of any of the mistakes that Jesup made, the penalties, the drives that the penalties occurred on.
It's a short kickoff. It's bouncing toward the far side of the field. Trevin Thomas looking to cover it up. That was going to be a free ball.
On those drives earlier, yeah, they ended up turning it over on downs and had a costly fumble, and that kick return just was kind of the icing on the cake for them in the first half.
So the Falcons will start at their own 29-yard line. Ball spotted over on the far hash. And a chance to come out and make a statement here early in this third quarter. And again, they passed the ball just 1 time in the entire first half. So Hartbarger lines up as the lone receiver on the near side here. I formation, handoff Prusner. ISO play, runs between guard and center to the left side. And this will be decent yardage out to about the 34-yard line. Gain of 5 yards on the ground that time by Mason Prusner. So the Falcons will be content to just run more chunk plays here throughout this one. So again, AP's clinching scenario is a win tonight, a win by Columbus over Sumner Fredericksburg, and a win by Union over Hudson. At last check, Hudson was leading Union, and Columbus up big over Sumner Fred. There was a big hole here initially, but it closed up in front of Mason Prusner. He'll be a couple yards shy of a first down. Will bring up about 3rd and 3 to the 36-yard line in their own territory. And in fact, the line judge comes up and moves the ball backwards about half a yard. All right, so Hartbarger back over to the sideline. In comes Colbin Hoppenworth. Kalkorf lines up as the receiver to the far side. And Waller comes up under center now. Turnaround handoff, Prusner. And he is going to get stuffed and driven back from the line of scrimmage. Loss of a yard by Prusner. It's going to bring up a 4th and 4 for the Falcons. And out comes the punt unit. And that drive sputters to an unsatisfying end. The defensive surge by Jesup has been really impressive, especially after those first couple drives. Really keying in on what AP's trying to do, and that is run the football downhill. A high punt. This isn't going very far. Jesup will let it bounce. It will take an AP bounce. Or excuse me, a Jesup bounce, and it will head to about the 44-yard line. That had some backspin on it. And not what AP was looking for on that punt. So the Jayhawks will start at the 45-yard line of AP. Here on the near hash with a chance to take the lead with a touchdown and extra point. Falcons need to lock in defensively here. Here's Haggerty. The handoff was bobbled a little bit. The running back is able to ultimately corral the ball. But that could have gotten a little sketchy for Jesup. It was Oscar Cole receiving the handoff for the Jayhawks. Only gets back to the line of scrimmage. Hunter McBride there to make the stop for the Falcons. AP will host Hudson next week and then finish the regular season at Columbus. 2nd and 10, 9.5 to go, third quarter. Larson motions across the formation to the right. Haggerty looks to throw. It's a QB draw. He gets blown up in the backfield. Loss of 3 yards. Several Falcons in there to help bring him down. Hunter McBride was one of them, celebrating with his teammates. Forward progress stopped at the 47-yard line, and now it's going to be a 3rd down and long for Jesup. Falcons read that QB draw the whole way through. 3rd down and 12. The line to gain is the 35. They're at the 47. Haggerty back to throw. In the pocket, under some pressure, Hoppenworth draped on him. Runs into 2 other Falcons and brought down. It's going to be 4th down and 12 after Haggerty just got back to the line of scrimmage. And Jesup brings out the punt unit. A clutch defensive stop for AP. So here comes the punt attempt. AP almost blocked it. It angles to the left to the 20-yard line and takes a Jesup bounce all the way down to the 6. Heck of a punt by the Jayhawks, and they've got the Falcons backed up deep. But the good news for AP is that they were able to make the stop, and they have possession with 7 minutes and 58 seconds left in the third quarter. All right, let's see what the Falcons have in store. The last drive sputtered out shy of midfield. Jesup stacked the box. They've pretty much figured out AP's game plan. They know what's coming here. Waller lines up under center and pitches it on an option to Prusner. Runs through a man, gets out across the 10 and pushed out of bounds. That play could have got blown up in the backfield. Prusner was able to take the option pitch forward for about 6 or 7 yards. That puts Prusner up to 50 yards rushing for the game on 13 carries. 2nd down and 3. Out to the 12-yard line. Asher lines up as a receiver left. And Hartbarger here on the right side. Also Creighton Eberhard in the left slot. Now he motions, and here's a whistle and a flag.
False start.
This is going to be bad news for AP, I'm afraid. Yep, false start on AP. Yeah, and those are killer, especially this deep in the field. So now you back it up 5 more yards. It's going to make it 2nd and 8 instead of 2nd and 3. It'll be interesting to hear what Coach Pickna has to say about the team's discipline here throughout this one. We'll need to do a 180 on what it's been here so far. That's been one of the key factors here throughout the season. Benny Waller, QB keeper, after faking the jet sweep handoff. Takes it out across the line to gain. It's going to be a 1st down on the run by Waller, picking up about 10. That's when AP has done their most damage, is when they fake a handoff to someone else and then Waller keeps it. That's been the big yard gainer here throughout the game for the Falcons. That's exactly what it was on Waller's 2 touchdown runs, where he was able to bust off 44 and 58 yards. Now a handoff left, Prusner, and he gets stood up again. Gains gains a yard at best. And again, AP has only passed the ball once in this game. It was late in the first half. They only had 29 seconds left. We're all the way back to their own 20, so they had to try to do something. Second and 9. Now they're in the shotgun. Waller takes off left. They hand it off on a reverse. And this again gets busted. They hand it up to Devin Eberhardt. Aiden Gantz-Rogers sniffed it out in the backfield. Waller took off to the left, handed off to Devin Eberhardt. And it goes backwards for about 3. You know, and Jesup has not had hardly any close games, but this might be one of their best performances on the season. At least, you know, taking a team deep into the third quarter like this. Halfway through the third already. And Waller hands off left side. Prusner gets through the first level, still on his feet, and gets toppled down after a short gain. It's going to be 4th down. Well, it's turning into a punt fest here in the second half so far. And the last punt by AP went pretty much straight up in the air and then bounced backwards. Jesup has 2 returners deep, and this punt goes straight up in the air. And it bounces backwards again. That, like, got back to the line of scrimmage. It's maybe going to be a 1 or 2 yard gain for the Falcons. That's unreal. They gained like 2 yards of field position on that punt. So Jesup will take over at the 24-yard line of AP. A touchdown and an extra point gives the Jayhawks a lead. Motion here by Pines. Haggerty hands off to the halfback. He gets busted and stood up. Hunter McBride in there to help make the stop for the Falcons. That was Oscar Cole going backwards for 2 yards. 2nd and 12 coming up. Lots of TFLs by the Falcons here so far today. Several backwards runs here for Jesup. -2, -1, -2 again. Lots of backwards runs. Here's Haggerty to throw. Screen to the left. And looks like maybe a late hit here. Yep, there it is. Devin Eberhardt put Oscar Cole on the ground. He was looking to just finish the play, but he's going to get a 15-yard personal foul because of it. I'll check the replay here. It's probably, yeah. I don't know if that was avoidable or not, but it did come after the play was dead, and they're talking this over here.
If that stands, I think it's going to be a 15-yard penalty.
Yes. And yep, they're marking it off now. And I think the conversation was probably determining, was that just, was it incidental or was it to the degree of a personal foul? And they decided that, yeah, it is enough for a personal foul. So 15 yards, and Jesup's down in the red zone. So now they're down to the 12-yard line. 1st and 10 after the personal foul on the Falcons. 2 wide receivers to the right side, 1 to the left side. Haggerty, it's a QB keeper, runs up the middle, lowers the shoulders, still on his feet and down toward the 5. 7 yards on the ground by Eli Haggerty. And Jesup is now on the doorstep from striking yet again. 2nd down and 3. Couple guys motion here up front for Jesup. Another QB run for Haggerty. Down inside the 5. Pile forms around the 3-yard line. Not quite enough for a first. It's going to be 3rd and inches. All right, 3rd down and 1, Jesup. Down at the 4-yard line of AP. Can the Falcons come up with a stop? 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Haggerty takes the snap. Another QB run. Tries burrowing his way through the line. It's going to be 4th down. 4th down after losing about a half yard. Fourth and 1 down at the 5-yard line. Does Jesup think about maybe kicking a field goal here? You're certainly in range for that, but the offense is staying out there for now. The play clock is running down to 8 seconds, and they're going to burn a timeout. 4th and 1 coming up for Jesup. Well, Jason, you kick a field goal here, you're able to make it a 3-point game. It would be 13-10 at that point, and you're certainly well within field goal range. It's just a couple yards longer than what an extra point would be. So we'll see what the Jayhawks decide to do here.
Well, and in the warm-ups, too, I was watching Jesup's kicker, and she can kick field goals. She was booming them out there. So
yeah, female kicker for Jesup.
It's not out of the realm for her to for them to have her try a field goal here.
At halftime, Grundy Center leads South Hardin 7-6. Looks like they're just getting underway in the second half out there. That's one of the bigger games going on in the state of Iowa tonight. At halftime, Columbus Catholic leads Sumner Fredericksburg 32-0. And at last check, Hudson was up 2 scores on Union. So here comes Jesup's offense out onto the field, going for it on 4th down and 1. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Larson motions in the backfield, sweep right, evades 1 tackle, still on his feet, looking to turn the corner, he does. Diving for the pylon, he's got the 1st down, not quite a touchdown. But Jesup appears to have kept the drive alive. That is a dangerous play to run in that situation. AP was not quite able to wrap up and make the tackle when they had a couple opportunities to do so. 1st and goal, Jayhawks, down to the 3-yard line. Larson picked up 2 when he needed 1. 1st and goal from the 3. Hand off to Cole, runs to the left, makes a guy miss, and he's in for the Jesup touchdown. Touchdown Jayhawks, they've tied the game at 13 with a chance to take the lead with the extra points. What a turn of events this has been. AP scored the first 13, and now Jesup is a kick away from a lead. It's good, and Jesup leads 14-13 with 2:31 to go in the 3rd quarter. was a 3-yard touchdown run by Jesup freshman Oscar Cole for his first career rushing touchdown on varsity. And Jesup leads it 14-13 over Aplington-Parkersburg after the extra point was good with 2:31 to go in this third quarter. Well, Jason, it's been 2 drives and 2 punts for the Falcons here in this third quarter so far. It's not quite do or die time for AP at this point. However, nothing has seemingly gone right here in the second half.
Yeah, not the start you want in the second half, especially after going down, or how the first half ended. Couple punts, get scored on here, so it's time to see what we're made of here.
So here comes Larson out to kick it off. AP will have Prusner back to return. He's the guy lining up on the right side. And then Aiden Merrill back to return as well for the Falcons. So AP needs a response. Here's the kickoff. Bouncing into the end zone, and it will be, it's not going to go to the end zone. It took a turn to the left. It's going to be picked up by Prusner and returns it back to the 15. Well, it's only about 5 yards shy of where it would have gone if it was a touchback. I think everyone in this stadium was just assuming that that thing was going to bounce into the end zone, including the players on the field. And AP was lucky to get that one back to the 15. So 2:27 to go in the third. And now the Falcons will have a chance to take the lead back on this drive. They scored the first 13 points of the game on touchdown runs by Benny Waller, a missed extra point in there. But Jesup has scored the last 14. Starting this one at their own 15. Prusner gets stood up and driven back. The run game is just clearly not working. Clearly not working. You have to make adjustments at this point.
Yeah, and
there's just no way around it.
Jesup just not respecting the pass game at all of AP. I mean, stacking the box the way they are. All of their secondary is walked up. They don't look too worried about getting beat deep.
Well, 2nd and 11. Let's see if they keep it on the ground here or if they try to go through the air. Waller is back to throw. He's got some time, stepping up in the pocket, but he gets back to the 10-yard line and gang tackled for a loss of 5. Waller gets sacked, and it's going to be 3rd and long. So they'll bring in some different personnel out onto the field. After Waller goes backwards for 4 yards. 3rd down and 15 now. And now they're gonna spread out the formation. Here comes a flag, might be a legal procedure. Waller throws it over the middle, it's gonna be caught. Nope, dropped over the middle by Hartbarger. The flag was for illegal procedure against AP. So that's going to be declined because it was an incomplete pass. And it'll bring up 4th down. And I don't know, Jason, in this situation, based on how the punting has gone,
yeah.
do you even bother punting since the last 2 have gone just straight up in the air?
Yeah, I mean, tough decision, but, you know, the ball this deep in your territory, you've got to try and punt it out of there.
So here comes Waller in the shotgun, and now a timeout is going to be called. They might have just been waiting to see how Jesup would react to that. Oh boy, AP down by 1 to the Jayhawks with 54 seconds left in the third quarter. 14-13 is the Jayhawk lead. That was AP's first timeout. They have 2 left. Jesup still has 2 left here for the rest of regulation. And that missed extra point is looming huge right now for the Falcons. Now that they're down by 1 instead of what could have been a tied game. So the timeout is done. And we talked earlier in this game how how AP would need to win and a few other things in their district to go their way. But we're for a clinched playoff berth tonight, but can't even really think about any of that right now when you're trailing. So out comes the punt unit here for AP. And Prusner punts it high in the air, angling to the right, sails out of bounds around the 30. Let's see where they mark it. They're going to say it went out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So 49 seconds left in the third quarter. And another short field to drive for the Jayhawks. Pretty close to where they started the previous drive.
Just a 1-yard difference. But yeah, I mean, 8 plays that last drive for a touchdown. So, you know, and the thing about it, John, is Jesup's getting quite a bit of confidence here as this game goes on.
Haggerty takes the shotgun snap, looks right, loads up, down the middle of the field. It is going to be caught and dropped by Youngblood. A flag comes in the defensive backfield. Could it be defensive holding against the Falcons? Youngblood did get tangled up with one of the AP defensive backs back there. And yeah, you're right. The longer the team that's not supposed to win stays in it, gives them that much more confidence. So pass interference is going to be the call against AP. Half the distance to the goal, down to the 12-yard line. 1st and 10 Jayhawks. 41 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Jayhawks lead 14-13 with a chance for more. And quarterback keeper after faking the handoff. Haggerty took it to the right, turned it upfield down the center, and picks up about 3 to 4 yards. Down to 22 seconds. They don't have to snap it again in this third quarter if they don't want to. 15 on the game clock, now 18 on the play clock. And it looks like they will go ahead and bring this thing to the fourth quarter. Jesup 14, Aplington-Parkersburg 13. Let's head to the fourth. Jesup 14, Aplington-Parkersburg 13 as we head to the fourth quarter. John Mowinkle, Jason Eaton with it here. 2nd and 7 for the Jayhawks from the 10-yard line of Aplington-Parkersburg. Haggerty takes the shotgun snap, shuffling around to the backfield. And this will be minimal yardage. Looks to be no gain. So 3rd and 7 coming up. Well, the third quarter for the Falcons was ugly. They were forced to punt 3 different times and did not gain much yardage out of those punts at all. And Jesup was able to put it in the barn for a score to take a 14-13 lead on a 3-yard run by Oscar Cole. Back to throw is Haggerty here on 3rd down. Throws to the end zone for the touchdown to Youngblood. Jesup extends the lead to 20-13. Unreal. Extra point coming up to try to make it an 8-point game.
With that touchdown, it's going to be Youngblood's 2nd touchdown of the year. Only came into the game having 1.
And this one is wide left, no good, so it remains a 7-point game. Jesup 20, Aplington-Parkersburg 13, 11:22 to go in the 4th quarter. .11 minutes and 22 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Jesup leads Aplington-Parkersburg 20-13. Well, Jason, kind of a do-or-die drive for the Falcons, I would say, at this point. Jesup has all the momentum on their side right now, and AP has not been able to move the ball here in this 2nd half.
No, a couple 3-and-out drives, and all 3 ended in a punt, and the punt team's not, or the punts aren't really going anywhere, so yeah, a rough 2nd half here for AP. Got to come out and establish a drive.
And they've been trying to pretty much run the ball on every single play, but Jesup has had that run game figured out. And stacked the box, not giving up a whole lot defensively here. Really, the only 2 outliers are runs of 44 and 58 yards by Benny Waller for touchdowns. And here comes the kickoff for Jesup. Larson hits a sidewinder, returnable for Merrill. Takes it up the hash marks to the 30-yard line, turns the corner, and gets plowed out of bounds just shy of the 35. Well, better starting field position this time for the Falcons. The last couple drives started at the 25. This time they will start it at the 32-yard line. Actually, they'll call that the 33. So here we go. Falcons need a score bad, down 20-13. So they break the huddle with 1 receiver to each side. This is kind of their standard formation. Waller trying to run, bounce it to the right, and gets stood up. Gains maybe a half yard at best. 2nd and a long 9 coming up. Waller now 12 carries for 123 yards. His last 5 runs have gone for 1, 4, -5, 10, and then 4, or -4. Before that's a gain of 1 yard. 2nd and 9 at the 34. Same formation. QB keeper Waller to the right. No, they pitch it at the last second. Running down the far side of the field, Eberhardt. Out across the 50-yard line. This one will gain about 15 yards. Devin Eberhardt, we'll call that 16. We'll call that 17 yards on the run, actually. They get it to the 47-yard line. So finally, a chunk play for the Falcons. Devin Eberhardt with his longest run of the game. Out to the 49-yard line of Jesup. And they run the same full house formation here. Keeper for Waller, dancing around in the backfield, gets back to the line. And not much more than that. It'll be another gain of 1. As the clock ticks under 10 minutes to play in regulation. 2nd and a long 9 at the 48-yard line of Jesup. Now Rylan Asher checks in as a receiver here on the near side. 3 running backs in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff to Prusner up the middle, carrying some people with him. He's got first down yardage out across the 40 of Jesup. Moves the chains for the Falcons as Prusner picks up 11. Finally, the Falcons are starting to string together some positive plays.
He's just such a strong runner. You know, you watch him, and the first guy that hits him does not usually take him down. So he can get some speed and bowl some guys over.
Prusner runs to the right, still with some room to run, out across the 30. He runs hard downhill, picks up 8 that time. 18 carries, 76 yards for Prusner. And AP picking up the tempo a little bit here. Asher lines up as the receiver on the left side. One receiver to the far side, delayed handoff, Prusner again. Sidesteps through the middle, out across the 25. And all of a sudden, AP has seemingly flipped a switch and is picking up chunk yards at a time. 1st and 10 Falcons down to the 24. 8:35 to go here in the 4th quarter. And there's a false start on Colcorf. You're on the near side of the field, and that, again, I say it every time, but those are absolute killers. False start against AP. You just had a great drive going, picking up a bunch of yards at a time, and then a false start moves you backward 5. It'll be 1st and 15. Lucky it is still 1st down. Clock continues to run, 8:20 to go, 4th quarter. AP down 20-13 on the road against Jesup. The Jayhawks are 0-5 on the year. Here's Prusner, misdirection, takes it up the middle. Oh, no, it's going to be a keeper to the right side. Benny Waller faked the handoff to Prusner, took it to the right, and only gains a couple yards. Jason, I don't know about you, but that one had me faked out. They did an excellent job of carrying out the fake.
Yeah, Prusner going up the middle there. He even kind of danced around like he had the ball.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure he had it.
So Waller only ends up gaining 2. Now Waller's back to pass on 2nd and long. Loads up deep, right corner of the end zone, incomplete. Incomplete pass, looking for Hartbarger on the fly route. Now it'll bring up 3rd and 13. That was a great time to go for a passing play. Could not quite connect on it, however. So now you're still probably in 2-down territory. Starting from the 26-yard line. Needing it to get it down to the 13 to pick up the 1st. And Waller takes a left on the option, gets spun down to the backfield. He was lobbying that he got brought down by the horse collar, but no penalty will be called. And that one goes backwards for 4. Now it's going to be 4th and 17. 7:02 to go and ticking. What does AP have up their sleeve here? 4th and 17. With the game on the line. Two receivers each side. Waller back to throw. Got time in the pocket. Taken off across the line of scrimmage. Got some room to run. Tries to make some guys miss. Still on his feet inside the 10. Down inside the 5. A heroic run by Benny Waller to keep the game alive for the Falcons. Now it's going to be 1st and goal for AP. All the way down to the 2-yard line of Jesup. 28 yards on 4th and 17. And the most clutch run possibly of the season for Benny Waller. 1st and goal Falcons. Handoff Eberhardt, he gets crunched. Backwards for 2. Creighton Eberhardt of the Falcons. Splitting carries with Devin Eberhardt for the most part. It'll be 2nd and goal, back at the 4 now. 6 minutes to go, we're halfway through the 4th quarter.
13th play of this drive coming up, so it's been a long, sustained drive for the Falcons.
Asher lines up, receiver near side. Waller under center, trying to sneak it. Getting pushed from behind. He's going to be short. 3rd and goal coming up. Only gains about a yard back. So now 3rd and goal from the 3. Third and goal from the 3. You got 2 yards, 2 plays to get it 3 yards. Here we go. Handoff, no, keeper Waller spins shy of the goal line. He acted as if he bobbled the ball a little bit. It's going to be 4th and goal. 4th and goal from the 2 to be exact. And here comes the Jayhawk crowd. Fourth and goal for the Falcons at the 2-yard line, down by 7 with 4.5 to go. Waller under center. Someone flinched up front, no call. The delayed handoff, Prusner fighting for the goal line. He is in! Touchdown, Mason Prusner. The Falcons are an extra point away from a tie ball game. It was a delayed handoff. Prusner was able to plunge through the hole and fight for that plane to make it a 20-19 ball game. And now the all-important extra point coming up. AP is going to go for 2 to try to take the lead with 4:20 to go. Waller under center, handoff Prusner, fighting for the goal line, and he is short. And Jesup stays on top, 20-19. Four minutes and 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Jesup 20, Aplington-Parkersburg 19. It was a 2-yard touchdown run by Mason Prusner on 4th and goal. AP elected to go for 2, but was stuffed. So now the Falcons are still down by a point with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left. And Jesup has been able to score on their last couple of possessions as well, so they certainly have momentum. Now you got to wonder if AP's got something up their sleeve here on this kickoff.
Looks like they might have it. They got it lined up on the left hash, and
well, they've had it on the left hash for the entire game, but they did spend a long time in the huddle. So here's the run up, and someone must have been offside. It was a rather short kick from Cooper Mulder, but let's see what we got here. Looks like we will head back to the 35-yard line to kick off instead. And now one of the officials is, no, they're going to kick it off from the 40 again. And they never signaled a penalty. Maybe the officials just weren't ready for play. Well, that was strange.
well, and yeah, now I mean, do you change your strategy? I mean, Jesup knows they're going to try and pooch this, so.
It's a sidewinding kick. It's going to bounce along the sideline and out of bounds. So there comes the penalty. If Jesup wanted, they could make them kick it off again. But they might just take the spot instead. Yep, looks like that's what they're going to do. So 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Jesup leads AP 20-19. And the Jayhawks will start this drive from the 35-yard line in their own territory. So this is a much longer field to drive than they've had for most of this second half. They had a couple of scoring drives that started around the 25 in AP territory. So here we go. They got two receivers to the far side. Shotgun snap. Delayed handoff to Cole on the left side. He gets swallowed up in the backfield. Several Falcon defenders out there. Devin Eberhardt was one of them. Trevin Thomas in the area as well. Loss of about a yard to make it 2nd and 11. Clock ticks under 4 minutes to go. AP scored a 2-yard touchdown on 4th and goal on their previous possession. Went for 2 and did not get it. It was Mason Prusner both times. And Jesup is going to use as much clock as possible, you would imagine. Down to 7 to snap it. Now they're running it all the way down. Motion man. That's Pint. Now it's a QB keeper. Haggerty gets back to the line and driven back. So now 3rd and long for the Jayhawks. Cooper Mulder was in there to help make the stop. Devin Eberhardt was in there. Let's see who else. Looks like Parker Mulder. They're going to call it another loss of 1. 3rd and 12, Jayhawks. Under 3 minutes to go. Falcons need a stop, need to force a punt here. Play clock is down to 10. Jesup might call timeout here. Yep, looks like that is what they're going to do. There it is. The timeout comes with 2:43 left in regulation. All right, Grundy Center leads South Hardin 14-6 at the end of the 3rd quarter. Have not received a score update from Union and Hudson in a while. Columbus Catholic leads Sumner Fredericksburg 39-0 at the start of the 4th quarter. Well, Jason, it kind of comes down to this for the most part because AP's only got 2 timeouts left. There's 2:43 left, so they can stop it a couple more times. But Jesup has a chance to put the game away here with a couple more first downs.
Yeah, if they can get even one more, it's going to be kind of tough. But,
right.
But right now, I mean, they're facing a 3rd and long, so I would expect they're going to run this to keep the clock running.
They line up in shotgun. 2 receivers each side. Need to get it out to the 45 to pick up the first. Haggerty back to throw, dance the feet, dumps it off over the middle. Cole is going to be stood up right as he made the catch, and a flag comes in right at the end of the play. The flag was thrown right at about the line of scrimmage as the play was coming to an end. Illegal man downfield. So, yep, Pickna declines the penalty to make it 4th down. So, they still got the clock stopped. And they're trying to get clarification over on the far side. So here comes the official call. Yep, illegal man downfield. Penalties declined to make it 4th and 9. And a timeout will be called by AP. Well, that's huge as well, because now they only have one more left. And if you're Jesup, you probably are punting here. Again, probably. That's what the book would say to do. But you never know. We saw AP go for 2 in a situation where most teams would try to kick the extra point as well. So maybe Jesup will throw one of those at him here as well. So gain of 3 yards on that last play to Cole. And he's had a decent game here for Jesup so far as well. So 2 minutes and 37 seconds left. And each team now with 1 timeout left. AP got on the board with 2 first-half running touchdowns by Benny Waller. And then on the previous possession, Mason Krusner ran in a short one. And the punt unit is out here for the Jayhawks. Looks like they got Youngblood back to punt. Aiden Merrill is back to return for the Falcons. And here comes the snap. And the punt is away, sidewinding over the far side. Merrill makes the catch at the 40, makes a man miss, still on his feet. Runs laterally around the 43. All right. AP can just get it down into field goal range here as well. They've got 2:27 to go. And down by 1, 20-19 to Jesup. A team that has not won a game all year long. So now a chance to execute in a clutch situation. And the Falcons have not attempted a field goal all year. The only kicking they've done is extra points. So keep that in mind as well. Starting at their own 43, down by 1, 2:27 left in regulation. 2 receivers to the left side with Waller in the gun. Back to pass. Being flushed out to the right. Takes off downfield, still on his feet, spun down across the 50. Nice job by Benny Waller. Making something out of nothing there. Didn't see anyone open. Instead, used those legs and picks up 8 yards. Second and short. Waller, keeper again, takes it right, turns the corner, got the first down. Out to the 40-yard line and run out of bounds. So that'll stop the clock as well at 1:55. And now a whistle has been blown. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons out of the 44-yard line of Jesup. And a timeout has been called. Did they say who the timeout was called by? They have not put it up on the scoreboard yet.
I haven't even seen the ref motion.
They haven't motioned it either, so. As of now, it's just an official's timeout because no signal has been, actually, there might have been an injury over on the far side that we didn't see initially. Because Gavin Cherry of Jesup is now just walking across the field, so that's probably what that was for. It was way on the other side, so it was not a team timeout by either side. So 1 minute and 55 seconds left. And here we go. Waller in the shotgun, empty backfield now. 3 left, 2 right. From the 39, Waller, QB run to the right, to the 35 and brought down. Clock stays in motion. Each team has 1 timeout left. Waller gains 5. 2nd and 5 Falcons down to the 34-yard line of the Jayhawks. Asher, the receiver, to the left side. Devin Eberhardt lining up in the left slot. 2 receivers to the right as well. Waller looking to pass, rolls out right. On his feet, lobs it down the sideline and out of bounds. There was a receiver in the area, which was Creighton Eberhardt, so it'll be 3rd and 5 after the incompletion.
Headsy play by Waller there, though, getting rid of that ball, throwing it out of bounds, stops the clock.
At 1 minute 19 left, AP down by 1, 20-19 to Jesup. If Jesup holds on, it would be one of the biggest upsets of the year. 3rd and 5. Waller to pass. Dancing to the right. Well, fires it downfield. He's got his receiver. Hartbarger is bobbled and dropped. Incomplete pass. Jesup lobbying that they caught it off the deflection, but it's ruled incomplete. Caught and dropped by Hartbarger over the middle. It was a great route run. The contact from behind jarred it free. Now this is the game. It all comes down to this. 4th down and 5 for the Falcons at the 34-yard line of Jesup. Waller in the shotgun. 2 receivers each side. Back to throw. Steps to the right. Being chased down. There comes a flag. Still on his feet. Dancing around. Throws it to the right. Knee was down. Looks like it's going to be a holding on AP probably. And here comes the penalty call. Illegal block on AP. And there's the game. Jesup just pulled off one of the biggest upsets in the state of Iowa. And they are a few kneel downs away from putting this thing home. Unbelievable. AP has 1 timeout left, but it really doesn't matter too much, because Jesup can just kneel it out. So Jesup will move to 1 and 5 on the year. AP will drop to 2 and 4. A timeout has been called by AP. Well, Jason, I think we can say that this is a pretty shocking result tonight.
Yeah, I mean, coming up here to Jesup or over here to Jesup, I really did not expect that they'd be able to pull this off, but they did a heck of a job of shutting down AP's running game. And, I mean, you got to tip your hat to them when the team can do that.
So Jesup will need to kneel it down just a couple more times. And then that will be it. Yeah, and Jesup was able to really adjust to what AP was trying to do on offense. They were able to shut down the run in the second half.
Yeah, you know,
and that was it.
And and things just start to add up, right? I mean, you give up a special teams touchdown. You just can't do those things in these types of games.
2 touchdown runs in the first half by Benny Waller. And then Mason Prusner scored one here midway through the fourth quarter from 2 yards out on a 4th and goal. AP went for 2 to try to take a 21-20 lead, but could not convert. And there's the final kneel down. 20-19, Jesup gets the victory. Well, let's take a look at some of the final numbers here. Benny Waller, 21 carries, 174 yards with those 2 scores. And Mason Prusner, 20 for 83. You know, I'd imagine that this was a game that AP did not want to have to pass the ball very much. Had to turn to the pass in a few situations. And they were 0 for 3. Man, that drop by Hartbarger was certainly a killer as well, which would have been a first down. Instead, it brought up that 4th down. And yeah, sometimes that's just how things fall for you.
And, you know, it just seemed like every time that Jesup had to make a play, they were able to make a play. And so hats off to them. Good job out of their team tonight.
Oscar Cole had a rushing touchdown for the Jayhawks. Aiden Youngblood, a receiving touchdown from Eli Hegarty, and a kickoff return touchdown by Aiden Youngblood as well. So the Falcons move to 2-4, 1-2 in 1A District 4. They will host Hudson next week. Jesup is now 1-5 and 1-2 in district play. They win for the first time this season, and they'll be back in action next week at Sumner Fredericksburg, who is winless. Jason, any final thoughts before we send this home?
No, not really. I mean, I'm pretty stunned by the result, but like I said, I mean, you gotta give it to a team when they come out and play like that, and you know, you just never know. You can't take a team lightly at all any week, especially in district play.
Final score, Jesup 20, Aplington-Parkersburg 19.